Hi there, welcome to the latest episode of my 10-minute moan. The topic of this 10-minute moan is Rangers Football Club. The result yesterday, where the club goes from here, and how bad really are things at Ibrox Stadium. Unusually for a 10-minute moan, I've got a guest on. And my guest today played for the club back in the 80s. He saw us in tough times when we were struggling to win tournaments, trophies, and saw the good times with the arrival of David Holmes and Souness. So he knows both the good and the bad of Rangers Football Club. So my special guest today to give his opinions is Hugh Burns, ex-Rangers Football Club.
Let's start with the $1 million question, Craig, regarding not just yesterday's result, but results in general, this season in particular, and for Philippe Clement came in to be the Rangers manager. He came in a wave of glory, really. A few wins, everybody's buoyant, think this guy's going to turn the corner, and then suddenly, slowly, the decline happens. After the horrible results against, I think, Dundee, Ross County, Motherwell last season, we lose the league to Celtic, which should never have happened. And it just became worse. We sit here the morning after the debacle, the embarrassment, the humiliation, I think the words I want to use, of yesterday's result in the Scottish Cup. What's happening at Rangers is $1 million question. Who's leading the club? Who's in charge of the club? Who's putting money into the club? We're taking the punters' money every week. Season books through the roof. Hospitality through the roof. Everything regarding the club, is according to them, off the field going okay. But it isn't what happens on the field, off the field, Craig. It's what happens on it. Every Saturday, 3 o'clock on a Sunday, whatever time the game is. Money off Sky, money this, that. Where is all the money? Who's there to answer these big questions? We don't have anybody at the helm. We don't have a chairman. We do now, but they brought somebody in that nobody knows. We've got a manager, allegedly. We don't have enough money in the bank to pay him off. That's the word in the street. But nobody comes out and tells us anything. The Rangers fans this morning, I've met loads down the street this morning. Funny enough, at my mum's in Lark Hall, what a place to go on a Monday morning. I couldn't get away from hundreds of them that I spoke to regarding Clement. I see his interview yesterday. Craig, something tells me that they can't get rid of this guy. He signed a new extension in his contract. He brought in a new assistant manager. Young Alex there and young Brian Gilmer, that's great, having a couple of boys that know what the club's all about. And I don't have a problem with that. The big boy, the goalkeeping coach. It's just, I think there's been things said behind the scenes that doesn't matter how this season's going, you're not going to get sacked. The run in Europe is certainly going to save him a wee bit. But I think what's happening right now is an absolute disgrace. Again, they talk about Berwick Rangers and things that have happened in the past. Hamilton, the Scottish Cup 4 years ago when Souness was in charge. But I'm going to say this slowly here. Queen's Park strollers come to Rangers to our patch and beat us in a Scottish Cup game. That right now should not be allowed to happen. Now, I've had a go at Clement and what he does, but they players crossed that line yesterday with that badge on their chest. You're not going to tell me Queen's Park have got better players than Rangers, as much as I'm now looking at the signings that the manager's made. I just think that you just don't lose to Queen's Park. You don't lose to it, and it's going to be interesting the media of the day and what folk have got to say. And I'm talking as an ex-player, as a fan, know what goes on in there. It's just, the place is just no right, Craig. It's no right. It's not getting that vibe of being a big club anymore. We've went and bought the boy for Dundee, young boy Cameron. And why not get him in the new? Probably can't afford it. And I think the manager's go out and said that. Can't afford to go and get him in the new and take a chance at Tribunal. Take a chance at the Tribunal if you need to. That's what happens. We need players. He's got this run in Europe that's, for me, saving his bacon or he'll be away today. But again, it's compensation with him and his backroom staff. But look at the signings made, Craig. People ask me, I say to folk, who's your favourite player? As you used to say, who's your favourite Rangers player? Folk will go, I've not really got one now. Tells you everything. He's not brought any good players, Craig. He's not brought any quality players.
Is this the worst defeat in Rangers history?
Hamilton Adrian Sproat goal, Hamilton are in the Premier League, I believe, at that time, and I remember that result. Again, Rangers go to Berwick 1967, way back, and but things have moved on from there, Craig. We're talking about the day, I know we're talking about history of the club and that. It's the day, it's the state we're in, the players that he's brought in, big money. No day that, mate. They beat Celtic 3-0. Celtic were poor that day. We bullied them and we pressed them and we got in their faces, which we need to do against everybody. If Rangers come out and press Queen's Park yesterday and get in their faces, we'd win that game. So we don't get the old blood and the sweat and tear on that jersey. That's what the fans want to see, mate. See if Rangers get beat 3-2 yesterday and they'd hit the board, they'd hit the post, the goalkeeper had some great saves, but he's just never getting in out of them, Craig. They're not getting that.
See when you were there, the start of your career, it was a tough game. Ran their committee of directors, it wasn't very, very good, and then things changed forcefully. And you were there at the start of
the new regime, yeah.
Is it as bad today as it was back then in the early 80s?
Yeah, I'll tell you why it's as bad today, if no worse. Because see, in the early 80s, when I broke into this team, along with Derek Ferguson, Ian Duran, Robert Fleck, David McPherson, Kenny Black. Tell me all the boys that are coming through now. That's 40 years ago. And who have we brought through in the last 40 years? Wee Barry, Big Hutton. I can't really think of many more that were brought through Murray Park, training, being coached by. Let's just throw in being coached by maybe guys that have never played the game. That's another way we can look at it. Are kids getting coached right with guys that know the game? No, I don't think they are. They're getting coached with guys that have been and got their badges to coach these kids. I get coached with Davy Proven, with Stan Anderson, with Joe Mason, with Tommy McLean, with John Gregg. These kids that are coming through now, they're not getting ex-players. I've got a pal down the road, Peter Livenkrantz. Why's he not at Murray Park training? Right, there's too many hangers on, Craig. There's too many folk following their boots. They don't deserve to be there. I think the game's rotten for the start. Why have we not got players up on the board that know what should be going on down the stairs as well? I've always said there's a place, especially at Rangers and Celtic Park, for somebody to be up there working with the chairman that knows a player, that knows a manager. The Parks come in. Graham Park, he's a lovely wee guy and all that. He's on the board. He's the face of our club. Douglas Park, Ross is there. John Bennett's away, hopefully on the mend, getting better. John Gilligan, I met him last week, lovely guy. John, acting chairman. So we've got good Rangers men round about the place. But we've got guys making decisions. Craig, they don't know the game. You've got to know the game, mate. You can't put somebody in a business like Rangers Football Club and ask people, no disrespect, the Parks came for, they run bus companies. Same as when the McGill's boys were there. There ain't people up in there. There ain't managers up in there, Craig. Let's go back to Kachinya and Warburton and Murty after Coisty. Debacle, mate. Absolute embarrassment. And Gerrard pisses off. And then Beale comes back up. Couldn't they spell Rangers? They can't spell Rangers.
How's it fixed?
The only way it's fixed, and I'll not mention any names, right? We're quite friendly with somebody who's very well associated with Celtic Football Club. And he said to me, we were out for dinner a couple of years ago. Had a few beers, winding one hour up, blah, blah, blah. And he's well in there. And he says, see, as long as we've got Dermot Desmond, you'll not get near us. Or what I will add is, or what he did say, you need somebody like Dermot Desmond. We don't have that, Craig. We don't have that.
My view is, when you were in the early days, we had the board of directors, but it was run like a committee.
Yes.
No gaffer. That changed. Then right up until admin. Even Craig White ran it himself. There wasn't a committee. But since then, we've been running the committee. Is that a problem?
Totally. 100%. I think even when Souness went in there and David Holmes, who we all know is my favourite person, but he had financial clout behind him before the David Murray era. Rangers financially were in a strong position as soon as they got Souness through the door. Souness when they came on a budget to spend, because we buy Chris Wood, we buy Terry Butcher, God rest him, Wilkins, Mike Haitley, the rest of it, and all the kids I've mentioned all work with all these boys. Bar me, of course, I'm out the door. That's another story. So we don't have the structure of kids coming through. It's actually, I think it's actually tells you, Rangers have been as bad lately that we don't have kids coming through. Kids should be battering the manager's door down. I used to spit a dummy all the time if I wasn't playing. And Big Joke would just tell me to get to fuck. Right? But basically, he was happy that I'm upset that I'm not playing. Do you think there's anybody battering the Clement's door down? No, I'll tell you why, Craig. Because the cash is going in the bank every week for these boys. They're not giving a toss, mate. They are not giving a toss. I keep going back to it and I could sit here all day. See if you sign good players. You win football matches. Right? His recruitment, I don't know who's in charge of the scouting department. I don't know. There's players doing in that championship in England. Only good though, I've got to say. First division players in England that would come up and get our team in. But you know something, Craig? They'd be hungrier. They'd go and they would go, what a club this is. I'm fighting and scratching and doing everything I can for this club. We don't have players like that. Captain misses a penalty in the 5th minute injury time yesterday. I know he scores great goals for the club. Left back, shifty as well. Plays as if he's played at school. You know, he's no coach probably. I heard Neil McCann say that. He says, I'd be fed up. He'd be fed up with me telling him, you're not getting coached to be a left back can play.
What happens with Clement?
Clement's going to be there, Craig. I'll tell you why. Unless somebody comes in and writes a cheque for his compensation, I'm convinced at board level they've told him that you have got us in the shit, you get us out the shit.
Has there ever been a time in our history where our domestic campaign with the 3 trophies available is finished on the 9th of February?
I can't remember that, especially even in the 80s when, before Souness came in, Celtic were kind of rolling the roost. I'll add to that, obviously, Fergie before he went to Man United. Let's say Aberdeen and Dundee United. How strong a league was it then? Hearts, Hibs, United, Aberdeen, Rangers, Celtic. It was a strong league. And I mean, I look at the team. I look at the team I played in. Excuse this, but I'm just out of spin class. You've caught me at a bad time. I'm a bit sweaty and smelly. I look at the team I played in and I look at the players. I mean, I speak to McCoy's regular as well, and I see Durante, Derek, Flecky, all these boys that all played, that all come through, knew what the club was about. Raging if you weren't playing because you knew it affected your pocket. Appearance money, win bonuses. I just don't see Rangers, you know, apart from Ingham and the striker, who are we going to get money for? Who's there that we can Chifty, Cherny, like he's on loan. Really going to get 4 and 5 million to spend on that boy. You know, the gap's like 13 points. We lost a dubious League Cup final. That could have been a turning point for us. The Scottish Cup is now gone. We've been knocked out of the Scottish Cup by Queen's Park Strollers. He should have got a Dan Mack last night. There should have been somebody at that club. See if at Rangers, I've always said, see, Rangers players are there because they can play. See the people who are on the board, they should be there because they can write the cheques to get us out the shit. And that's not happening anymore, Craig. We don't have anybody up there that'll go by way. When you've seen chairmen going about, like David Murray, David Holmes, John Payton, you know, going right down the route, you know, you used to see Willie Waddle and Thornton, Willie Thornton, at the top of the marble stairs, and there was big stars about, and I go in now and I look round about and I'm going, this place is flat, this place is dead, there's no buzz about it. That's now, you know, going on to the park, and I just don't know where we go, Craig, but it's a bad day for Rangers Football Club.
So there we go, we've heard some wise words there and some words that Rangers fans will not want to hear, but the most standout for me from that was the fact that we could not buy a 19-year-old from Dundee who's out of contract this summer. We had to leave that deal until his pre-contract kicks in the summer because, in the words of our manager, we didn't have the budget to do it. And that is frightening. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you've not already done so, please hit the subscribe and the notification bell. Put your comments below, they should be interested in this topic. But most importantly of all, as long as you're not the type of person that wants to manage by committee and blame other people, and not the type of person that will just take charge and do the job and take the glory or the pain. No you, but
everyone else. Have a great day. Cheerio, bye now.